Hello everybody. First things first, thank you for watching my videos. If you hadn't seen the other videos, go see them. Subscribe, whichever direction you need to go to hit subscribe. Don't cost anything to do that. It just gives you a notification whenever I post another video or something, you know. If you follow my other videos, you know that I'm a truck driver. So I'm in Little Rock today. I'm waiting to get unloaded. There's several trucks ahead of me. Nothing new. I get paid by the hour, so it works out pretty good, I guess. It gets old after a while, though. You know, kind of want to go home. Anyway, I was going to video some airplanes and stuff, but didn't because it's storming outside. So I thought of something else we could talk about. Some people don't want to talk about it. They just, ew. It's dumpster diving or scavenging or something, whatever you want to call it. I mean, I just think it's, you know, it boils down to one man's trash is another man's treasure. It's not for everybody, and sometimes it's kind of hard to do sometimes because you know people look at you like, you know. But sometimes it don't bother me at all. It's like, y'all can say and think whatever you want. I'm doing it. But like this place here, it reminds me of it in a way. It's a roll roofing place. I deliver them pallets, and they make roll roofing. It's all different kinds. And when they first start up a line, there's some of them that just not quite what they want. Either the package they put them in is bad or something, but they're so high, you know, in our production that they ain't got time to repackage it. They just throw it away. Well, their dumpsters are like semi-size, you know, them rollback type dumpsters. I don't know what the cubic feet of them are, but it's pretty big. I mean, you can put a couple cars in there. Well, they're just plumb full of that stuff. Well, I'd come in here and I'd get some of it. Whenever I'd unload, while they was unloading me, I'd go over there and get the stuff out of the dumpster, and then I'd pile it all up, and then after I get unloaded, I'd pull up right beside it and then put it up there. And it works out really well here. But you know, I don't see me driving. You know, I live about an hour and a half north of here. I don't see me driving all the way down here just for that. But since I was here anyway, it works out pretty good. And a buddy of mine roofed his house with it. I mean, you roof sheds. You can, you could put it down to keep the grass growing and stuff like that. You know, I mean, it's just what that stuff is for is endless. I mean, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, you know, making something that's one man's trash is another man's treasure. I'm not talking treasure. Yeah, I thought I said it wrong, but I said it right. I'm not perfect, but anyway, I'm not talking about going through somebody's personal trash and like tearing open a bag and looking in there and like, ooh, there's a half-eaten piece of chicken. I'm gonna eat that. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, you know, going down the road and just being aware of what's going on around you. I mean, some of y'all might be like, yeah, I know what you're talking about, man. I do that all the time. That's fun. But don't be the other people that think, oh, don't do that. That's wrong. That's just wrong. It's in the trash for a reason. Well, it's in the trash because they don't want to deal with it. That don't mean there's something wrong with it or that it's not reusable. It just means that they don't want to deal with it, you know? I mean, you know, there's some stuff that needs to be in the trash, you know, but, you know, not everything. But, you know, I go down the road all the time. I see stuff that's flew out of the back of trucks, coolers, hard hats. Oh my goodness, at the hard hats. Bed liners out of trucks. Gas tanks. Air tanks. I found an air tank on the side of the road the other day. Gas jugs. 2x4s. I mean, it's amazing how many people haul stuff down the road and don't tie it down, and they lose it, and then they just don't go back and get it. And a lot of stuff. I've got insulation off the side of the road. Some of the insulation that went in that building that we did, it was some I found on the side of the road. I mean, I've got lawnmowers. Now that, I've actually seen brand new lawnmowers that fell out of the back of the truck, and they don't last very long. But I've seen people lose washer and dryers, and they just or couches and stuff, and they see it fall out, and they think they're going to get in trouble, so they just keep on going, or they just don't look or don't care, and they don't look in the mirror. But there's around here, there's like a spring cleanup, and I've did that for years and years. And you just go around during the spring, and people put out stuff for the counties and cities to pick up. And the counties and cities really, or the ones around here, really like it when the scavengers or whatever go around picking up this stuff, because it's less stuff they've got to haul to the dumpster or to their landfills. And of course, that's cheaper on them because they have to pay for so many loads and man hours to pick it all up. Because I mean, if I pick up everything from the person's stuff they put out, they put a bicycle and weed eater and a chainsaw out, and I pick all that up, well, their trash guy don't have to even stop there. So I mean, it's a win-win, and plus it gets recycled. But I mean, think about it. It's like, oh, I'm not going to do that. Somebody thinking bad about me or something. Look at me, I'm getting dirty. Well, wear some old clothes, wear some gloves, and quit worrying about what everybody else thinks. I mean, it can be fun. Okay, one time, me and my grandma, she's passed on now, but she wanted to go with me one time. I had my old pickup, and we was going around, and all of a sudden, she said, well, looky there's a push mower. And there was a bunch of other stuff piled up on top of it, and like old clocks and radios, and you could tell they was cleaning out a shed or something. Well, anyway, she said, you never know, you might be able to fix that mower, and she's looking out the window, and I said, you never know, it might run now. About that time, I grabbed a hold of it and yanked on it to be funny, and about that time, I yanked, and it just fired right up, and I was like, oh my goodness. And of course, that's when it gets a little, it's like everybody's watching me now, because I just stopped on the side of the road and started this dude's mower. So anyway, I went to shut the thing off, and it wouldn't shut off. Well, I found out why it was sitting out by the trash. So I finally got it shut off, took a screwdriver and stuck to it after a little while of embarrassment. And then all of a sudden, here come the owner of the house or whatever. He said, I guess you seen what was wrong with the mower. He said, just stick that screwdriver to it, and it'll shut it off every time. He said something about, I got tired of messing with it, got a new one, and he said, don't worry about it. He got tickled about it too. I think my grandma knew him too a little bit. But that's good time right there. I've got riding lawnmowers, and back to the dumpster deal, a lot of places don't like you going through their dumpsters because it's like a liability deal. Like Walmart, oh, no, you don't go through their dumpster. If you do, you better be slick. But anyway, that Walmart's real bad about, like destroying stuff just so nobody will get a chance to reuse it again. But they got all these signs, they talking about the recycling and stuff. But they'll take, okay, for instance, when somebody returns like an entertainment center. Yes, I worked at Walmart. This is how I know. They would want us to destroy it with like a sledgehammer, just so, and then put it in the trash. That way nobody can get it out of the trash and reuse it. But they also, if they caught you digging through the trash, you'd get in trouble. And like sheets and stuff like that, they'd want us to cut them. And there was some remote controls and stuff like that. They wanted us to like break them and stuff, But they was throwing them in like a trash compactor deal that nobody was allowed to get into. So I mean, it didn't make any sense to make us have to do all that, but I don't know. I was getting paid to do it. But so you have to watch about that. You know, you can't just walk up and just say, "Oh, it's in the trash, I can do that." Well, no, it's against the law in some places. You can't do it. And if the dumpster says, "Do not, this is private property, do not climb in and do not get in," and all that, that'd be a good one to not get into. But like this place, you know, just Joe Blow off the street, walk in this place and go in there, probably couldn't. But if you seen a forklift driver or something like that going by and say, "Hey man, how's it going? Hey, you know, I see y'all putting a lot of that stuff in the dumpster there, and I need some for a little garden shed or something like that, and I was wondering if you cared if I brought my truck over here and got a few rolls of that, you know," and say, "Hey man, I'll slip you $10 or something, you know, if you'll kind of help me out, or kind of look the other way or something, you know," because to be honest with you, I mean, you know, if you went up to one of the big wigs here, you know, the guys in suit and tie, and said something, "Hey man, can I go through your dumpster?" They're probably going to be against dumpster diving anyway. So, and even if it was against their insurance or whatever, they still probably wouldn't want you to go through it just because they think it's being nasty, you know. And you know, and you're really saving them money because it's less times the guys got to haul it off. You know, they got to pay for that stuff to be hauled off. Well, so you know, don't go to the high up guy and expect him to let you just get to a dumpster, because they don't want to deal with guys coming up asking for stuff like that. But there's places that you can go all over the place, and there's other people that's going through there and looking too. So you have to know that. If you see something, don't expect it to be there 2 weeks from now, because either they're going to haul it off or somebody else is going to get it. And there's many a times, I get that on the way back, it's gone. But you know, I've got all kinds of stuff. I went around that one year and spring cleaned for like 2 weeks picking up stuff, and I went up Missouri to where my grandma lived and got all that stuff, and then I come back and had a yard sale of all the stuff that I'd picked up, and I had a blast meeting people. And then after a while of picking up stuff, you know, riding around, everybody got used to my truck, and they said, "Well, you the junk guy?" And I said, "Well, yeah, I guess so." And he said, "You want some copper, man?" He said, "I've been storing this stuff up," and he said, "Just waiting for the right guy to come around." And I got a 55-gallon barrel of pieces of copper. It was useless as far as reuse, but y'all know how high copper is. And it just works out like that. He didn't want anybody getting it. He wanted somebody that, you know, I guess he respected or something like that, you know, and he seen me honestly going through there. And plus I had my kid strapped to the seat beside me, you know, in the car seat. He knew I was just out working, you know. And anyway, it's gonna be good times. There's a guy one time I went and stopped, and he had a whole bunch of like wrought iron rails that went around the front porch of his house, a whole bunch of it. And I went to loading that stuff up, and he come out there, "Hey man," he said, "I'm gonna have to charge you something for loading all that up." And I said, "Oh, okay." I said, "Man, I just spring clean up." I said, "I didn't know." I said, "What are you gonna have to charge?" You know, I was like, if it had been there 30 more minutes, the city would have picked it up for nothing. Anyway, he says, "You got to haul these shingles off for doing that." And I was like, "Shingles?" And all of a sudden he said, "Yeah, here they are," and they was like in 5-gallon buckets. And I was like, "What in the world?" And then he loaded them up in the back of my truck, and as I was loading that other stuff up, and I was kind of looking, it was asbestos shingles. So, you know, he was. Anyway, you got people like that out in the world, you know. I mean, because he knew the city wouldn't have picked that up. The city would probably, "Oh my gosh, call EPA or something." But anyway, we've had a lot of fun doing that kind of stuff. And I look on the side of the roads all the time. I'm constantly, whoop, whoop. Did you see what that was? What was that? You know, and it's a lot of fun. And there are people set out stuff all the time. And you know, if I've got stuff that and ended up giving it to somebody else that needed it, that's made my day. You know, I mean, instead of knowing that it went to the trash, to the compactor or the landfill or something like that, you know. And it's a lot of fun. You know, you can get your kids into it too, because they got better eyes than that. Just, Dad, did you see that? What was it? I said, looked like a really good, like, desk or something. Really? Okay, let's go back and get that thing, you know, and like a reloading table or something like that. But it's a lot of fun. I know I'm kind of rambling, but this is kind of like a blog deal. You know, it's not a how-to video. I guess it could be a how-to on scavenging. But you don't have to have a truck. You don't have to have a trailer. You can do it in a car. I've done it many a times in a car. Depends on what you're hauling, but you know, it can be fun. Some people do it with food and stuff like that. You know, they go through and like, but I don't know. That's kind of, I guess for animals or something like that, it wouldn't be too bad. But I don't know. There's a lot of people that tamper with things. I know there was a bread place that used to throw all theirs away, and the route driver would take a knife and cut every one of them. So there it was. I mean, he could have spit in it or something. You know what I mean? It was just, so I mean, it'd be good for your hogs or chickens or something like that. But you know, as far as like feeding it to your kids, I don't know. I don't think I'd do that. But we've got a lot of customers that we go to that has a lot of waste. This waste is just unreal, and a lot of it's good. I mean, even we go to a big rice company, and they haul dumpsters and dumpsters and dumpsters full of just good rice. And a lot of times I'll see the guys, you know, that they'll run into a box, big old box, and he'll bust, and of course it'll be plumb full, like 1 pound bags, and only one of the 1 pound bags will be busted. We'll throw the rest of it away. Now that usually goes home with me. Yeah, I've got several pounds of rice that I get, and like Spanish rice stuff. Oh, that's good stuff. And anyway, I just thought I'd tell you about that. And if I get pulled in the next few minutes, my battery don't die on my camera, I'll show you a little skit or a little video of what's actually in this dumpster, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Alright. If I can figure out how to turn it for me. Alright, here's one of the dumpsters here. You can tell how big it is. It's like a variety of stuff in there. There's some of the stuff that goes on the road roofing. Then here's some of that stuff there. Some of it's good, some of it's bad. You never know. So I'll show it to you.